Hello world, and we are back. My name's Kyle Fischl.
Who?
This is going to be episode 45 of my poker vlog, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about some concepts regarding poker, such as should you be a pro versus having a job, as well as a little bit of bankroll management, and I even have some hands which are honorable mentions from sessions that happened throughout this month that will be towards the end at this time. So if you're just here for hand histories, there are some there at that time. Skip to that point. So first thing I want to talk about is a common question I get is if I'm a professional poker player, or if you're a winning player, you have a good win rate, should you transition to be a full-time professional poker player? And currently, my usual answer is probably not. I have a job. I encourage everyone to have a job, have multiple sources of income, and not just rely on poker. There are a few reasons for that. One, if a pandemic happens and the entire poker world shuts down for an undetermined amount of time, having your entire income reliant on one source is probably a bad idea. Additionally, my usual answer is, if you want to play poker and make a lot of money, when are the best games at? They're not Monday at 10 a.m.
Exactly. I was being sarcastic.
Oh, no, you're supposed to use a sarcastic voice. Now I look foolish.
You can definitely have a job and play poker and make it work and have a very comfortable life. That kind of leads into bankroll management. Many people often ask me how much money they think they should have to be able to get into poker and play a little bit more seriously. I'm comfortable at any given time with just 5 buy-ins. Like, I lose 1, I lose 2, okay, I'll come back next week. And then I'll come back next week. But that is dependent on the fact that I do have a job, handle the swings as they come. When I'm not fully dependent on poker results, the downswings don't hit me too hard because my bills are covered. And then I can enjoy the upswings a lot more because I don't actually need the money. They just translates into fun luxury purchases. Quick little poker concepts based on some questions I've had. In the upcoming weeks, there may be a video that is just a few concepts that can answer questions based on what I think. I may do some financial analysis with poker, as I have $300,000 worth of education in finance, and I translate that to poker philosophy in a way that some people probably do, but maybe not all. So if you enjoy just some theoretical concepts with poker, leave a comment below and I'll incorporate that in my next video, as I will not have hand histories as the poker world is still shut down. But I do have 4 hands that are starting now. They are the honorable mentions from the last month of playing. These are the hands that I can go over that I still believe have some merit and have some, let's call it, educational. So first interesting hand. With 3 limps to me, I am on the button with Jack 10 of hearts. With this hand, I'm definitely willing to play it in position and raise it up. I make it $25. All the limpers call. We're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes 9-9 deuce, 1 heart. So at this point, it's not really a bad flop for me. I have a 3-card straight flush, which is kind of good. 2 overs, we'll just see what everyone else does. Everyone checks to me. Not many people should have a 9 here, and if they don't have a 9 with a board this dry, if I had a hand like ace king or ace queen, my hand is definitely good here. I'm not really worried about anything, as everyone with nonsense should fold. So I don't even need to bet that much. So I wager $40 that everyone will fold. Well, the first limper gathers a stack of 50 and puts one $5 chip on top, and then pushes that in the middle.
You must be joking.
A clear attempt at a raise, which the dealer has to look at and count down. And I already know that I don't want him to raise, but I can't really protest because it gives away the strength of my hand, which is terrible. And I'm just sitting there like, a player who wasn't in the hand had to say, it's not more than half the amount bet, therefore it is just a call, which I'm happy with. Everyone else folds. And I'm sitting there thinking like, all right, well, you're a very passive, fun, recreational player. You 100% have a 9 here. I'm not even giving you credit for anything else. So any other card but a queen that comes, and I'm literally just going to fold. Turn is a queen. Actually didn't want that because I almost have to continue now. As I'm on the button and the opponent was in early position and clearly wanted to raise, he leads out for $125. That one's disappointing because I almost have the right odds. It's very enticing, but my argument for not calling is that if he had 9 king or 9 8, those are some of my outs that are theoretically dead. He has so many hands that could block all my hands, and if he for some reason had queen 9, I'm dead already. So I make a pretty standard fold in that spot, I think. My opponent quickly shows 9-5 offsuit.
And he laughed!
Don't know why you're limping that or calling my raise, but you flopped gin. Good job. So, next interesting hand. An early position player makes it $20. I'm in middle position with ace queen. I raise to 60. Definitely a hand I'm gonna 3-bet against a player who I think that I can outplay post flop and play in position. He doesn't really have to have a hand as he's been pretty active, and I feel pretty good about ace queen. And it folds all the way around, so we are heads up to a flop, which comes queen queen 8 rainbow.
Where is Gamora?
Well, that's good. The dealer decided that I win this hand. My opponent does me one better, where he leads out for $65.
Yeah, I'll do you one better. Who's Gamora?
Quite happy with that. I really don't see the need to raise here. If he has a queen, he almost definitely has a worse queen unless he has exactly queen 8. So there's no real reason to raise. I'm just going to call and hope to see a brickish turn that he may feel compelled to continue with. Well, the turn is a queen.
I'll do you one better. Why is Gamora?
The dealer really wants me to win this hand, evidently. And this time, my opponent checks. Now, when he checks, I think that he's not quite giving up, but he's more pot controlling. I think it's very likely he has a hand like 10s, jacks, maybe 7s, some kind of pocket pair where they can still call a small wager. So in this instance, I bet $75. I think this is definitely small enough that an opponent can easily call with any pocket pair and some ace highs. He should really never give me credit for having a queen here because, I mean, I have the only queen in the deck. And he instantly says, well, I know you don't have a queen. I'm like, thank you. You should call now. But he eventually folds, saying he has nothing. I have to show because it was qualified for the high hand, which lasted about 10 minutes, and then it got cracked by like quad aces. So did not get the extra $1,000 on that one, but it's fun to be on the board. Next interesting hand. I am in early position with ace queen, and I raised to $20 as I'm fine to play this even out of position if I'm the pre-flop aggressor and can pretty much take control of the betting action based on various runouts. Well, I have 4 players that call me, and so we're 5 ways to a flop, which comes king, king, 4, 1 club. As this is really not a board that I'm comfortable c-betting, when there's a king out there, I think there's plenty of king X's that random field players can have, and if they do, I'm pretty much drawing dead. So I don't really see a reason to bluff into 5 people with my exact holding. Well, in this instance, it checks all the way through. I'm really just hoping for a club here so that I can continue in some fashion. Well, the turn is a queen. That's a pretty good card for me. I check as someone could still have a king at any given position. It checks all the way to a middle position player who bets $30. It folds to me. I don't really see any reason to fold with, second pair versus a small bet. I feel like if he had a king, you'd bet a little bit more, as it's been checked through and any player in the field could have a queen. But he wagers only $30, so it's a pretty easy call as I beat all other queens with my kicker. Queen jack, queen 10, all that stuff could bet. Even ace jack or 10 jack could be betting here as a bluff. So there's plenty of hands that I'm beating that I can easily call, and it folds all the way through. So we're heads up to a river card, which is a 7. Doesn't really change anything. I checked to my opponent, feeling like if he bets like $50 or $60, he probably has a king and I'll just fold. Well, he goes big. He bets $85. I really don't think you'd go that big with just a king. It seems kind of odd. Not really a board you can polarize with. My opponent can't really have ace-king as he should 3-bet. Unless he has king-jack, king-10. You know, those are hands that are just flopped pretty good. I guess I'm just going to pay you off. And I beat all of their queens, so with all that said, I just call. And he does not have 3 kings. He has 4 kings. So that is very good. Like, so good.
You must be so embarrassed!
I guess his sizing made a lot of sense as he had the nuts and he's just hoping that I have a queen, which I did. So I guess if I had some kind of ace highs, I'd pay it off sometimes given on the player type. Maybe not against this specific player, but it's definitely a good bet size. He got me to pay him off, so good job. So final hand of note. This one is quite interesting. With 5 limps to me, I'm in the big blind with ace-king offsuit. I'm never going to just limp this one, especially this table has several players that are very deep stacked, so I want to build a pot with a premium even though I'm out of position. So I make it $30, not really expecting folds, but just trying to get a pot brewing. And we get 3 callers. So we're going 4 ways to a flop, which comes king, jack, jack. Not the greatest flop for me, especially 4 ways. There's so many random jack X people could call with that I'm not really feeling fantastic about my hand. And I'm in the big blind, so I can't really bet, because I could run into a jack a lot of the time. I think this is a perfect scenario to get into check call mode, so I just check. Under the gun player bets $50. A middle position player calls. Now here's a concept that I think is quite important and can be learned from. I think now is the time to announce my hand and hope everyone else folds.
Bring it down hard.
I'm planning a check raise because I can rep full on premiums. I could have pocket kings, I could have ace jack, I could have all that, and definitely check raise here. The under the gun player, he's bet and shown down very marginal hands in the past, so I don't really ever believe he has a jack. Middle position player, he didn't raise, so I don't really give him credit for a jack. As I beat all other kings, I think this is a slam dunk raise. Announce my hand, hopefully get folds, hopefully win a few $100s in the pot. So I raised to 200. Under the gun player calls and the middle position player folds. Because like I said, the under the gun player's shown down some marginal hands. I think he has a jack a lot of the time. Like, I'm not happy that he called and I'm prepared to just check it down, maybe even check fold. Hopefully it doesn't get to that. But we're going heads up to a turn card, which is a 8. Doesn't really change much. Unless you had like 9, 10 and we're bluffing and got a straight draw, it doesn't really change anything. The pot's huge. The player really doesn't have that much money left. He only has about $300 left. So I'm considering whether I'm going to call him down if he just jams on me. But either way, I think this is an easy just check card and reevaluate based on his action. I check. He pretty quickly checks as well. The turn card is quite bad. The turn card's an ace. If he had queen 10, which makes a lot of sense to just bet with your marginal hand and then call and hope, that got there. That got there hard. Not happy at all about the ace. And I checked to him and he bets $100.
I can't tell if you're joking or not.
He's being fully serious.
For that price, I am definitely going to just call, and he has king queen. Now, I tell you this hand because the middle position player claims that he folded jack 8. That is, in my opinion, a correct fold in a tough situation. And like I said, I chose to check raise to announce my hand. So theoretically, if I check the flop, under the gun bets 50, and he raises to 200, I have to just fold. He announced his hand. He has a jack. Okay, I fold. Under the gun calls or folds, whatever he does, and the hand continues from there. But because he chose to play it passively, and I chose to announce my hand, he's kind of forced out when he faces a check raise and a call, and he has a jack with no kicker. Theoretically, one of us should have a jack because that's what I'm trying to rep, and the other player could have it. Even I believe he could have it.
It's a tight.
Regardless, the moral of the story is sometimes it's just best to announce your hand, take control of the betting lead, and try to play in position from there, as in that scenario it probably would have won that player the hand. Either way, I'm happy to win that one. As like I said, these are just recaps. All the results can be seen in previous videos. I hope the current global health conditions continue to improve and we can get back to normal life. If you like the video, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. Please like. If there's any concept you'd like me to talk about in terms of how much to buy in for, what your bankroll should be, kind of playing styles versus, certain player types, I'll be happy to incorporate that in my next video, as the next video is likely to be more theoretical, strategy based rather than literal hand history. Thank you for watching.